that starting point, if he's going to make a permanent marker, he'll put a rock there. And once he moves his tripod, he might pile rocks up here. And that's going to be a monument of his survey. If it's a temporary location, he's going to put a metal pin in the ground because these are going to be used throughout his surveying. He'll only use 11 of them. He may have extras, but he only uses 11 when he's working. The other tool, the workhorse, is the chain. This chain was invented in 1610 in England by a man named Edmund Gunner, and it bears his name, Gunner's chain. And he made it 66 feet long. That's an even number, but it's an unusual number. Would anybody care to guess why 66 feet? Yes, ma'am. Well, now you said a word there that's right, rod. 66 feet divided by 4 gives you a number of 16.5 feet. That was a unit of measurement already in use in Europe. It was called the rod. It was a wooden pole, but can you imagine taking a 16.5 foot long wooden pole out to measure land with? It could break, it could warp, it could rot, but a chain made of brass would last a pretty long time. And he made it 66 feet, which incorporated 4 rods, a unit of measurement already known. So if we stretch this chain out 10 times, 660 feet, that's one side of an acre. Before this chain, an acre was described as the amount of land one oxen could plow in one day. So that's a lot of variables in that. But now he can measure it pretty precisely. So 10 square chains is 1 acre. Now if I take this chain and I stretch it out 80 times, 80, that's 1 mile. Now if I've got an open field like this, I can drag a chain for 1 mile in about an hour and a half. But if I've got to go through terrain like that, it's going to take a lot longer. So the way the surveyor did, he would have his chain bearers. Now I need 2 volunteers that want to survey some land. Young lady, you can be one. Anybody else? All right, come on in. Come on up here. What we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate the labor-intensive method for surveying. Young lady, I'm going to give you these to hold. Those are called chaining pins. Young lady, I'm going to ask you to hold this, but I want you to come around here, and we're going to hold it right up against that pin, okay? Can you do that for me? Like that. Now, young lady, if you'll come over here, I'm going to give you the other end of the chain, right here. And I want you to walk that direction, and we're going to stretch it out. Hold it tight in your hand now.
She's going to pull it.
Okay, now the surveyor is going to look through the sight vanes to make sure they're on the degree, the direction that he wants. If she's not in line with that, he'll wave over or wave over. And if you are in line, touchdown. Little humor there. Very good. Okay, when it gets to this point, this chain bearer is going to take a pin off the ring. Just lay it on the ground, honey. Just join together. Just push it through. Stick it in the ground at the end of the chain. All right, that's 1 chain length. Now, folks, I'm going to tell you I'm cheating a little bit here. For demonstration purposes, I'm using a chain that's really 33 feet, okay? But I'm talking in terms of it being 66, okay? Now, young lady, I'm going to ask you to pull this pin up and hold it with the end pointed down. You take the pin in one hand and the chain in the other, and walk to the pin she's put in the ground. You pick up the chain and the pins, leave the one in the ground, and stretch it out a second time. Keep going till you get to the pin. She's going to pull the chain tight once you get to the pin. There you go. Very good. Pull it tight. Now to get it really authentic, what's the girl's name in the white and pink? Luna. Luna. You holler the word chain.
Hey.
Yeah. Violet, you holler the word mark.
Mark.
Okay. When that happens, you put a pin in the ground. And ladies and gentlemen, what will happen after this point is that the nearest young lady here in the pink and white, Luna, she will pick up that pin and advance the chain. And Violet will continue stretching the chain and putting more pins in the ground. Okay, young ladies, if y'all will pick your pins up and come on back, just drag the chain on the ground.
They're totally going to put stakes in the yard now.
You what?
They're totally going to put stakes in the yard now.
So, can we ask questions?
Yes, please do.
So what happened here was these two young ladies stretched it out 33 feet twice. That was 6 feet. So they'd have to do that basically. They'd have to repeat that 20 times with what they had.
Yes. If they wanted to measure one side of an acre, you would have to, because this is a 33 footer, you would have to do it 20 times.
20 times.
Yeah.
So an acre is.
An acre is 10 square chains, but bear in mind I'm talking in terms of a 66-foot chain.
Right. But so an acre is pretty big then. I mean, if you want, I mean, it's not like you think an acre is.
A football field. Thank you.
Good.
Wait a minute, I'm not done with you. A football field, including the end zones, is about as close as you can get to an acre without actually having the exact dimensions.
Huh.
A football, including both end zones. So it's
that's the length, it means.
well, I'm talking square footage.
Oh my.
I'm talking square footage now. That's a rectangle. Football field's a thank you, ma'am. Now, a surveyor in the days of George Washington got paid $2 a mile. And back then, that was a lot of money. But he had to pay his help out of that. He had to buy his provisions.